From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings, LALATE.
It's a big early mornings broadcast here Tuesday morning, live with you, direct from Santa Monica. Boy, what a day it is as fourth stimulus heats up for your fourth stimulus check of 2021. The Democrats are calling the vote on the reconciliation process. Excitement's brewing. And I have all the breaking news on that monthly stimulus check those Democrats want you to have. When, where, and how you're going to get it. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, the second half of this video, that has a fifth stimulus check in it, yes, for next year, but also the raising of your benefits as much as 10% lifetime, a lot more than that SS200 was ever going to pay. I have all this exciting breaking news you're going to hear for the first time on more early mornings broadcast this Tuesday morning. Then we cut to the thousands of dollars of viewers continue to get. It's a big day. It's a big Tuesday morning broadcast. I'm excited for you to join me on this early mornings. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, this coffee's brewing, and I just see bacon everywhere. Well, at least I was dreaming of those bacon everywhere. It's a big morning, and it's early mornings. All right. And it's Tuesday morning with me and you, and I'm here in Santa Monica, California, with your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. The weather was beautiful here on Monday. I hope all of today, Tuesday, will be much the same. How's the weather where you are? And tell me where you're tuning in from. Jump in the live chat right now and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. In this fourth stimulus check update, a lot of breaking news this Tuesday morning. We have all the exciting details about that call for the vote that is currently underway for the reconciliation process. 3 updates that are coming to you in this recording about that fourth stimulus check. First, the amount, then the voting process, and then when you should see this going to a finality. Then we cut to fifth stimulus that heats up this fall with another stimulus check and a raising up of your benefits, but as much as 10%. Oh boy, exciting details. And then we cut back to the thousands of dollars you can get right now. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. At the same time of this show airing, Overnight's Crypto Live is on the channel. If you stay with this video, it'll take you right into Overnight's Crypto, which last night was a massive hit. So stay here. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. 400,000 subscribers. Also, like this video. It delivers free pizza. Or, soup and salad, maybe. A nice vinaigrette. Deliver something, I think. I don't know. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Let's get into the details of those monthly stimulus checks when comparing House versus Senate. House versus Senate. Little bit different based upon the payouts, based upon the monthly amounts. But let's first start with the number of checks. Here we go. House Bill Jalapa, stimulus check, monthly. Pandemic plus 1 year. Senate proposal, July to December. Okay, let's look at the payouts. House, monthly, 1,000 after the first month, 2,000. Senate, monthly, unknown, but word on the street is it's this from the Senate Democrats. Wow, $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. Now, before you vote, and I want you to vote, let's look back at this. Get ready to vote and jump in that live chat if you're watching this show just after 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on this beautiful Tuesday morning here from Santa Monica. Get ready to vote House or Senate. Tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. But here we go. Pandemic plus 1 year. Well, yeah, that might get reduced to just 1 year because legislators may contend the pandemic's over. That would mean that there would be 12 checks over 12 months compared to and which would pay out $13,000 over 12 months. So let's compare that to the Senate. Over 6 months? Here you go. I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote. I want to see you voting. House or Senate? Senate or House? Vote right now and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather this early morning's broadcast of Tuesday. Boy, exciting. Who gets this fourth stimulus? The Democrats represent if you got a third stimulus check, you would get a fourth stimulus check. That means that if you're a single individual, the Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check, $75,000 or less. If you're a married couple, the Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check, $150,000 or less, double it. Family of four, the Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, STI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, the Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check comes in a monthly timeline. Comes monthly. It does not come as a wave of checks. It's not a waveable check. So if you see the check at the breakfast buffet today and say, "Hey, check, are you getting the eggs Benedict?" Didn't respond back to me. Root check. Hope there's some eggshells in your eggs Benedict. It's not a root check, and it's not Benedict's eggs either. It's just not a waivable check. A check can't wave back at you. It's a monthly check. Democrats would be giving you a fourth stimulus check in the month of July. For the month of July, with a side of some hash browns. They would be giving you a fourth stimulus check in the month of August. For the month of August, with a side of some sausage. And they'll be calling the final vote by July 4th, with hopefully a side of bacon for me. And there you go. That is your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 in this video. Part one. But part two, we heat up with incredible comments from Bernie Sanders. Bernie spoke. And guess what? Broadcast media did exactly what I was expecting them to do. Misquote him and run a fake story. There we go. It's starting. And then we cut to the incredible details of the calling the vote, how this works, when they're going to see changes, when you're going to see changes, and I'll explain the details. Stuff you've never heard of on early mornings at LALATE until today. But first, here's a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus. It heats up this fall. And fifth stimulus is wonderful. With a raise of your benefits, a new stimulus check, and a new infusion of $1 billion to the Social Security Administrator to get checks out to you faster. Wow. All those exciting details are coming up later in this video. But let's get some money. It's Tuesday, and it's Taco Tuesday. Tacos and money. Those are the two things I always think about at the same time. EIDL loans and tacos, yes. So let's go over all that money. Get a pen and paper ready, because that's what I do on this channel. I give people money. I don't cook tacos. And I'm not a stimulus psychic. Neither of those two things. But when the pandemic hit in spring of last year, I got viewers $25 million of EIDL loans, saving their businesses, their homes, and also their employees' homes. But as the situation got worse in fall of 2020, we saw wonders about whether second stimulus was going to get passed. So I stepped it up, and I got viewers $250,000 of rent. So we're doing it again now as we wait for fourth stimulus. Don't be waiting for a check. Cash checks with me right now. All right, let's go over the details. Get that pen and paper ready. If it is a Crayola crown, at least match my shirt. We're going to be going over rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities. It's wonderful. And the rent we're going to start with first. It's about $5,000. It's about 4 to 6 months of rent. Each place had different eligibility, so if one says no, reach out to the next. All right, you ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You don't say words that no one knows, like stimulus. And you don't say any other words that they don't know, like Nancy's fashion forward. Excuse me? Let me forward you to another number. They won't know what you're talking about. And there you go. Congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this money. And if you've gotten any money for this channel, jump in the live chat right now. It inspires me. It inspires other viewers, because that's what viewers do on this channel. They get lots of money. A week ago, one viewer got $5,000 from this channel. The week before that, another viewer got $6,000 to $7,000 for this channel. And what were they getting the big ticket items for? Snap. That is a lot of money. What is it for? It is money for food. Where does it come from? Department of Agriculture. How much money does it pay? Well, those viewers got $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a year, but you can get up to $16,000 a year for a family 4 in Hawaii. Wow. Why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. There you go. Glenn got for herself, for her son, and her mom, Gail, got it. And viewers continually get it. You're killing it. You're rocking it. You're destroying it. You're crushing the hairstyle. And we're only 10 minutes in this video. $16,000 for SNAP, family of four in Hawaii, $5,000 for rent. Well, I got more money for you right now. It's $5,000 coming back from your states. Wow. What is this? The federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment assistance due to computer error. Not your computer. Your computer works fine. It's their darn computer. Well, the federal government has ordered those states to return the money back to you. Yes. So how are you going to get it? On the account that you have on file with your state. When are you going to get it? Call up your state to find out the routing times of that check. That's because their computers were not working. And ask them to track it with a different computer. Which brings us to the final pot of money, and it's coming back from IRS. It's the wonderful refund of your taxes from IRS. If you've gotten this money, jump in the live chat and tell other viewers you got it. Cog got it, Margaret got it, Michael got it. Let's go over the incredible details. First, how much is it? It's a lot. So let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits. Your total tax bill was $5,000, of which it was $4,000 taxes on the unemployment assistance. You're getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit, that's what's on your 2020 return. Otherwise, in the mail. When? The month of June. Can you track it? Yeah, about 70% of the time you can track it. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, and go in there, and 70% of the time you'll be shocked what you can track. You'll be able to track the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid, the lunch that I had yesterday, and the delicious $12 ice cream that tastes like $8 ice cream that they have at the casino. And then you'll be able to track the check you're getting back from IRS. Wow. Now that's wonderful news, but even more wonderful news is the second of your third part of your fourth stimulus check updated 2021, starting right now. Well, on Saturday, I said that on Sunday there was going to be a crypto crash. Bernie was going to say something like, I'm not so sure about something under four stimulus. And then print media was going to take his quote and misquote him again. And they did exactly that, and also crypto crash. So what happened? Bernie appeared on broadcast media on Sunday and says, I don't know about if I'm comfortable with a gas tax, comma, but I haven't seen the bill. So what did print media do? They left out the half of the sentence that goes after the comma, and they ran it with a title that says, Bernie Sanders is blocking your fourth stimulus. Oh, they're so predictable. They're so predictable. They did this last year with second stimulus. They did this spring with second stimulus in January, where Bernie says, I'm demanding minimum wage in there or else. And then they say he's blocking your bill for minimum wage, and he didn't. So that's what they do. But the incredible news is that fourth stimulus is currently starting the voting. The voting is starting on your reconciliation process from those Democrats. The exciting news is that the fourth stimulus started weeks ago. The process will end with the final vote by July 4th, Leader Schumer confirms, and he confirms also that the final vote will end with a passage. Wow. How do we get to that spot? Well, Jalapal was speaking out about the spot on Friday and had a double negative for us. Jalapal's comments was that the White House has not in any way told me not to do what I'm doing. Double negative. She's a legislator, not an English major. But I'll explain it to you just one second. And then Senator Brian Schatz delivered his own double negative. The White House has repeatedly reassured him that the White House considers the progressive policy their own progressive policies, and the White House has not asked him to back off on his position. So what does that mean? This is what's going on. President wants two progressive policies in there. Remember, the president doesn't write the legislation. He's not a legislator. He's a president. The legislators write the legislation, but they use his advice of what he likes in there. And they could certainly add something else. Well, he likes certain things, but he's adamant about certain two provisions. He's adamant that climate has to be in there, a progressive policy, and he's adamant that the CARES economy, which refers to seniors and money, has to be in there. And that's a progressive policy. Two progressive policies that he's adamant otherwise he would veto. Well, Jalapal's taking care of him, saying, Mr. President, don't worry, I got taken care of. They're in there. To which he says, thank you, Jalapal. And if you have other progressive policies in there, put them in there, and I will give you the support as well. Well, thank you, Mr. President. And that's how one back is rubbing the other, patting the other back. What's important to know is what is Jalapal's progressive policy that she is putting in there. She represents it's the stimulus checks. Jalapal's progressive policy, stimulus checks. The president's progressive policies, climate, and also the CARES economy. And there you go. But how did we get to this wonderful spot? We got to this wonderful plot by Jalapal, who had written Schumer a letter on a recent day ago and said, check all the vote. But that letter was co-signed by 12 House Democrats, who are among the 100-plus House Democrats, yeah, you heard me right, 100-plus, who had written the president a letter saying, Mr. President, we're going to put monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Wow, now that's really good news. Can we top that? Yes, when 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter saying, Mr. President, when we write the fourth stimulus, we're going to be putting monthly stimulus checks in that draft. Now, who are these people to say that? What do you do for a living? Who are these people? They are on the House committee that is solely exclusively responsible for writing your stimulus checks. They wrote your first stimulus check. They wrote their second stimulus check. They wrote your third stimulus check. And they now confirm they're marking up the bill, and they claim that they're putting monthly stimulus checks in there. And they also claim that they're going to be doing fifth stimulus checks. Wow, that is wonderful news. Can we top that news? We can, as Biden has done it. The President of the United States has anchored fourth stimulus to the edge of the finish line by getting an international agreement on the books. That wasn't supposed to happen until after fourth stimulus. He did it ahead of time. What's going on? Let me explain. Fourth stimulus is paid for by the U.S. corporate tax rate. The president's raising U.S. corporate taxes, but he said he was worried that if he raised the taxes in the United States on a corporation here, that corporation may move overseas to another country where the taxes are lower. So he reached out to those other countries and said, let's all raise our minimum tax rate so no one keeps on relocating. And they tentatively agreed. Wonderful news. To which he said to his legislators, I like how this is going. Let's go get them to sign formally this agreement in December. Give them some of that caramel popcorn that Jill likes, and then they'll sign on the dotted line. Well, he surprised all of us. When 2 Saturdays ago, he went overseas for his first international trip to get those G7 countries to sign on the dotted line now. Anchoring fourth stimulus to the edge of the finish line because now the provisions about international and taxes and things like that are not needed in the fourth stimulus. They're covered. Many of them are in the international agreement. Wow, now that's wonderful news. And can we top that news? We can. With the third part of your fourth stimulus check update coming up after this commercial break. A lot of breaking news and a lot of breaking news about fifth stimulus. But first, something even more wonderful, the volunteers. If you need help with rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, or SNAP or internet, reach out to the volunteers. They truly embody the Purple Power spirit. They're viewers just like you who will step forward to help you get that money. So if you need help getting that money, reach out to them. How? Open the description of this video. Go down in the description. You'll see an emoji of a house. It'll say community page. Click the link and it'll send you to the community page. That's news.la.com/community. The volunteers are separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Reach out to them for help on rent, utilities, mortgage, internet, and SNAP. They can't cook you a tostada. They can't fix your roof. They can't wash your car, but they can do all the other stuff covered in this video. And here is the community page. I'll be back in 60 seconds with you with exciting details in our second part and final part of this fourth stimulus check and a fifth stimulus package. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. a.m. LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now in early mornings LALATE as the toast is toast and the butter is butter. And I'm here, you're here. And boy, it's an exciting day with exciting news across the land. Fourth stimulus is heating up, and in the third part of this fourth stimulus check update, we'll be going over calling the vote, what to anticipate for the voting process, and how changes can be made to the very last second. I'll have all the breaking details. Then we turn to fifth stimulus. A lot of stuff you're only going to hear about fourth and fifth stimulus for the first time on Early Mornings LA today. So subscribe. At 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board. Like this video, it really helps in the algorithm rankings. It also delivers pizza or something like that. And consider becoming a member. Stay with this video. Right after this video is over, within 7 seconds, you're automatically sent to Overnight's Crypto, currently airing on the channel as cryptocurrency is crashing and the market is really in turmoil. I'll explain where we're heading on crypto. Oh, wow. So let's get now to fifth stimulus. A lot of breaking news about fifth stimulus. Number one, fifth stimulus check. Yes, they represent that the fifth stimulus check would be a 2022 check. It would go to a vote in about November, December, and the legislative effort for it would start about September. Number two, we have learned that the president is dedicating $1 billion to the Social Security Administration to ensure that you get your benefit checks on time. That's fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus and your benefit checks going forward. Great news, solving all that problem we had with third stimulus with people on benefits, not getting checks on time. And finally, lifting up your benefits under fifth stimulus. Oh, boy, this is huge. Now, you need to understand that whenever we had spoken about SS200 in the past, you should absolutely throw it out. Do not talk about SS200 anymore. You want to get behind this because SS200 no one's talking about. They're talking about this, and this is a lot more money. We had a lot of details, and we're going to continue to see details this week as we're trying to get a sense of where inflation's going. Fifth stimulus ties your benefits, fifth stimulus SSI reform ties your benefits to a new benchmark, that's inflation. In the last 7 days, we've had the Consumer Price Index, the Producer Price Index, the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve's chair out of St. Louis all talk or try to talk around inflation. Wall Street analysts are all thinking that the inflation rate is high now, about 4%, that it's going up higher, hitting what you would call a temporary or transitory spike at 10% before coming down. Federal Reserve Chair said 2 interest rate spikes in 2 years from now. St. Louis Chair said 2 interest rate spikes next year. He also said that inflation is red hot at the moment. So how does this play out? How does this calculate for your fifth stimulus? Let's go over the calculations right now. First, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they'll remove the asset limits. They'll add an inflationary benchmark. They'll remove the income exclusion and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over how this calculates for you. First, they'll raise up your benefits a lifetime. Who's you? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, they'll be raised up one time. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. You know that benchmark is inflation. And you know that inflation's going up, and you know that they apply it in December to decide how much more your benefits go up next year. Here's what you need to know, is that you want to hope that as that inflation goes up from 4% to 10%, it hits that spike around December, November, when they're applying the benchmark before it comes back down. Because what would happen if the inflation hits its highest level when they're applying your benefits at the end of this year, and that inflation rate is somewhere upwards of 10%, your benefits would raise up, not just 10% next year, but lifetime, because benefits stay up, they never step down. This is wonderful, huge news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits. Time to put some stimulus and you can't stay on benefits and have more than $3,000 on hand. Now you'll be able to put some stimulus checks in the hand and maybe a nice taco. They'll be able to remove the income exclusion dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't stay on benefits and also work. Now, if you want to work, you will be able to. And finally, the marriage penalty will go away. You'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear the loss of benefits. Viewers like Sandy and Rob will be able to marry. There you go. Third stimulus, fourth stimulus, fifth stimulus. There's a lot of things in these different stimulus packages. As soon as third stimulus was passed in spring of this year, I told viewers, yeah, you'll get a $1,400 stimulus check, but you'll also be eligible for anywhere from $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 to $15,000. And you've seen this video how viewers have gotten $6,000, $7,000. How do they do it? By becoming a member. The membership link's at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. Members are delivered daily a breakdown of all the money in third stimulus for you to apply for, because most of it is application based. It is not automatic. So it's application based. And they're killing it because they know about the money they can get. Fourth stimulus has a lot of other money as well, and fifth stimulus does as well as proposed. It's important to understand that when we're looking at stimulus packages, never just look at the top name of the stimulus package, like the American Families Act in the fifth stimulus. There's a lot of money in there for single people, a lot of money for things that have nothing to do with families. So that's how I break it down for you. Daily, I deliver a breakdown of what's in third, fourth, and fifth stimulus to you via the community page on YouTube. With that, let's cut now to the big final massive finale of the fourth stimulus check update of 2021 in this video. It is the excitement of one, my personal messaging, second, the calling the vote and understanding how the voting is going. I'll go and go over new details you're going to see for the first time on this early morning's broadcast. Then we'll go over to narratives which are false, and finally Purple Power Push. First, personal messaging. I think that Bernie Sanders' comments sort of embody this channel. Bernie Sanders said on broadcast media in the last 48 hours, I have an issue with something. I don't know if I like it, but I need to see the whole bill, and we don't have it yet. I love that. I love that. Can we put it in a poster? We actually have an emoji for that. It's not bill yet. This is huge. It's not bill yet was a very big popular emoji on this channel in spring of this year when people were saying, but the third stimulus, I said, it's not a bill yet. It's not a bill yet. As to fourth stimulus, there have been some people who have tried to tell you there's a bill of fourth stimulus. There's no bill for fourth stimulus. Bernie Sanders said it very clearly. There is no bill of fourth stimulus. When you hear me talking about the bill or marking up the bill, it means marking up a draft of the bill. Bernie understands that a bill is not a bill until it's actually in a passed form from the House. He's a senator. He's waiting for it to come from the House. So with that, it's important to understand that at any moment when they're marking up the bill, they could be marking it up with the ink side of the pen by adding something in there, or marking up with the eraser side of the pen by erasing something from a draft of the bill. I love his comments because it finally reassures people to understand that the process is still in flux. There is no final bill for him to vote on as senator. So he's not going to pass judgment on it yet. Now let's go over the 9 voting steps that shows you how the bill goes from beginning to end and ultimately leaves that final changing step with senators like Sanders. All right, step 5, 7, and 8 are the most important steps. All right, step 1, House votes on the subcommittee of the procedural bill. Step 2, House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 4, the President signs into law the procedural bill. At that point, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time now to vote on the substantive bill. Step 5, critical. This is that House subcommittee. That House subcommittee that represents they're going to put monthly stimulus checks in there. They can do it. If they want to, they can also choose not to. It's at this step they would put them in there. Step 6, the House votes on the substantive bill. Off we go to steps 7 and 8, the critical 2-day vote-a-rama in the Senate when senators like Bernie Sanders receive from the House, like Jalopal, the bill from the House. 3 possibilities. The House bill has stimulus checks in there, doesn't have stimulus checks, or does have stimulus checks. Let's go over all the 3 possibilities. First, the House bill does not have stimulus checks in there. The senators can amend and add the stimulus checks in. Possibility number 2, the House bill has stimulus checks in there and the senators love it. They leave it alone. Possibility number 3, the House bill has stimulus checks in there, but the senators feel they need to amend it, and they do. And step 9, the president signs into law. At that point, it's now law. New things you're going to hear for the first time on this morning's broadcast are first that Chuck Schumer, historically, with third stimulus and in prior times, has always said, I'm not going to take the House bill as your senator a majority leader and put it into Senate subcommittees and let it sit there for 12,000 years. Rather, the way he does it is his Senate subcommittees work with the House subcommittees, because they're the same party, throughout this entire process starting since last month. So it's important to understand that when the bill gets to the Senate, I expect it to be the same as third stimulus, at which the GOP senators say has to go into subcommittees, and Chuck says no, it doesn't. They've already been working on the subcommittees for last week's, but we have to have the opportunity to put it to subcommittees. And he actually said in third stimulus, no, because you're trying to kill it in the subcommittees, so it never gets out of the subcommittees. We're not doing that. So that is how he time manages, save some time on you. Next, you can do some of these 9 steps in the same day. The recon, you have to do it over 2 days. Also, if there are any amendments during the vote-a-rama, those do go back to the House, often in the same few hours later thereafter, and they're generally passed just formalities quickly thereafter, so no worry about that. All right, now let's go to the importance of narratives. Let's go over what they did to Bernie Sanders, which was about as predictable as what they've done before. In January of this year, Bernie Sanders said, as to third stimulus, the $1,400 third stimulus check, which you eventually got, I don't know if I'm excited about this third stimulus because there's no money in there for minimum wage. That's how he talks. He never says I'm voting against it. He says, I don't know if I'm excited. I don't know if I feel comfortable. I don't know what I think. It's sort of like an emotional adjectives, vague phrase. And then when he gets it, he votes in favor of it. So what did they do when he ran that quote in January? As the third stimulus, they said, Bernie Sanders is blocking your third stimulus check. He never does that. He never votes against the Democrats and votes in favor of the Republicans. He never does that. But they always take his quote and run a fake title. So I told you on Saturday, I said I expect next week they're going to take someone's Democrat's quote and put a wrong title with it, and they're going to say that person's blocking the bill. And I said, I'll use Bernie's example, even though Bernie hasn't spoken yet. And as soon as Bernie spoke, right after my story, they did that. They took his quote, and guess what they said? Bernie Sanders is trying to block your fourth stimulus. He never said that. He said, I don't know if I feel comfortable with a gas tax, and I haven't seen the bill yet. And I don't think anyone has seen the bill yet. So there you go. Now, the other fake narrative, it's coming from Senator Portman. Senator Portman it's not his fault. It's the president's fault on this one. The president had the opportunity to take ownership of what he's doing. He's doing a reconciliation process. Reconciliation process is one party. The president at some point needs to own this, whether it's, the night of the final vote or the night he's signing the law into the bill into law. But he should have taken ownership of this, last week, or at least now. You are in a recon and you're finishing with a recon. It is partisan. It is not bipartisan. Own it. He's not. So what is he doing? He feels as though he has to act like he's going to knit and braid Mitch McConnell's hair every 10 seconds. I'm such a bipartisan guy. I'm just doing all this stuff bipartisan. And so when he was on a tarmac in Geneva, Switzerland, he first said, I don't want to hear from anyone else. We're calling a recon. And then the next second he was asked, at another airport, he's asked, would you like to hear from anyone else? So they call you up. Oh, sure. I'm happy to hear from anyone. And that just opens the door for the Senator Ron Portmans of the world. Senator Ron Portman will likely keep on running his mouth down to the final moment in which it becomes law, because the president has not zipped it up, has not said stop it, has allowed people to continue to claim that they're part of the discussion when they're not. Ron Portman will have nothing to do with the passage of the fourth stimulus. He is GOP. This is going to pass by a Democratic recon. But the president has allowed Ron Portman to speak. And he spoke this weekend and will likely speak almost every single day. What is Ron Portman? Who is Ron Portman? The guy who, when the pandemic was taking away your business, your employees, your bank accounts, your car, and your home, said, get back to work. You're lazy. And cutting off your FBC, and you don't need a stimulus check. That's Ron Portman. No one would want to have a conversation with Ron Portman if you were the draft of the fourth stimulus, but the president refuses to just shut it down and crack the whip. And that won't cause any harm or any foul in passing fourth stimulus, but it'll literally litter broadcast media with Ron Portman quotes because you allowed it to happen. And finally, Purple Power push. You've been doing a great job. Keep it up to the very last second. Remember, you want to go on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, and tag your elected officials, Democrats, House, House and Senate. Also, your progressives especially, and their progressive Twitter accounts and Facebook accounts, and their vice chairs and vice and chairs. Also, look for the hashtag MSC Purple Power from other viewers and retweet their messages. Finally, pick up the phone if you do not use social media and call your elected officials in D.C. and express professionally and respectfully why you think you're entitled to stimulus checks. You've been dropping some wonderful comments in the videos and also in the channel saying, I need a stimulus check because of this. That's the type of message you should be telling the people who are drafting the bill. I love it that you're telling me, but you need to tell them because they don't see your comments unless you give it to them. And finally, there's enough reason to understand why you need a forced stimulus check. There's actually two other reasons. Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve on Wednesday, said, I'm still supporting this economy all the way to December. We're not fully rebounded. Number two, the new jobless claims number was released last Thursday and the number went up. It got worse, meaning that people who were never unemployed during the pandemic are now unemployed. We need stimulus. And there you go. Thank you for joining me on a great Tuesday early mornings broadcast. Stay with this video. Within 7 seconds after this video is over, it'll send you to Overnight's Crypto, our hit show that thousands are watching every single day as this channel now expands next into stock coverage. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and every like helps in the algorithm rankings. And it also delivers some nice shampoo and conditioner. Yeah, that Nancy stuff. And also consider becoming a member. Get delivered to you daily what's in third and fourth and fifth stimulus so you get that big money as well. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful morning. Next, back with you 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time live on air for Mornings LA. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.